Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to another episode of this utter shite.
Now, Dave, let's not try belabouring ourselves in order to dissuade the potential belabourers who might be listening.
Yes.
It's a bit too much. Self-deprecation can be quite charming, but, actually punching oneself in the face repeatedly
is
not so good, I don't think.
How's your trumpet going?
It's all right.
Right, explain what that is.
It's my buzz. I've got to keep practicing my buzz.
Why?
Because if you don't, then you find you can't get a ruddy note out of it.
Right.
If you leave it for
you have
too
to make
long.
that noise.
I'm playing pretty well up to...
Like a painful fart, basically.
I'm playing pretty well up to... from middle C up to the C above middle C.
Okay.
There's quite a lot of tunes you can play with that.
Yeah.
But it's sort of getting higher.
Yeah, higher is hard, isn't it?
Higher is hard.
When I'm scoring for trumpets, I try and avoid going too high.
How high do you go?
Oh, not massively. Sort of G above C, maybe tops.
G above the
tops,
C,
yeah.
above the C above.
Middle C, yeah.
Because it's fucking transposing, isn't it?
Oh.
That fucking annoys me. So it's not actually G, but it's
No.
the F above.
Yeah.
Because when you talk
Well,
about
what
C,
sort of
it's
trumpet
actually
is yours?
B flat.
It's B flat trumpet, yeah.
It's B flat.
Yeah.
But all that transposing crap. Why do they bother with that? It doesn't make it simpler.
That's the way it's made, isn't it? I know. Trust me, mate.
No, but why do
I have to make band parts for people that are in the
No.
right bloody key.
No, but why do they insist on writing? Why don't they call the B flat B flat?
Because it isn't.
Yes, it is.
It isn't.
You play the basic note B flat.
If you play B flat, then you're actually playing an A flat.
No, if you play a C,
Yeah, it's a B flat.
it's a B flat. So why not call it a B flat? Why all this? All right, it's B flat, but to make it easier, because that's the sort of the open note that they learn first. We'll say that's C.
Well, because you might have to communicate with other musicians.
But that just makes it more difficult,
Okay.
not easier.
No. Okay. Well,
What
I mean,
would
there's
be
worse.
wrong?
At least you're still in treble clef, mate. You could be in bloody alto clef or tenor clef.
Look, no point in that.
Well, I didn't invent it.
Yeah, but they don't have to transpose.
They do.
Why? Why? What is the advantage?
Well,
Let's
you
say-
know what you're playing, and I know what you're
Well,
playing.
no, you don't. You sort of, as a trumpeter, if you're not, you say, "Oh no, I'm playing C." Well, yes, but you actually, I mean, if you're improvising, and with the piano, you have to say what the actual keys are, then, don't you? Right,
Yeah.
let's do. Okay, we'll do a blues in B flat. We'll do a 12-bar in B flat.
Yeah.
You go, oh, by the way, transposing trumpeter.
You're in C.
It's in C as far as you're
Yeah.
concerned. But it's pointless. Why don't we say that the trumpet player, if he says, okay, that bit where it goes into E flat, actually, of course, it's D flat. For you guys, as far as I'm concerned, it's E flat. This is a whole lot. Do clarinets transpose?
Yeah,
What? They don't.
they do.
What on earth is the point?
Flutes don't.
It doesn't make
Piccolos
things
don't.
easier.
Oboes don't. Clarinets are a B flat instrument,
But the B flat.
but they can be an E flat instrument.
What is that? A clarinetti wetty, the higher one.
Yeah, where you're playing. If you're playing C on some clarinets, it's an E flat.
that's
Saxes,
Why do they?
alto saxes are B flats. Tenor saxes are.
But do they transpose?
They go up. They're an E flat instrument.
But I mean, the trombone.
That's in just
B
bass
fl-
clef. Yeah.
Well, it's B flat and it doesn't transpose.
No, it doesn't transpose.
So
no.
first position.
Yeah, horns are F horns.
That's their basic.
So when they're
open
playing C,
note.
they're actually playing F. It's a nightmare.
What? But whose idea was this?
Don't know.
It doesn't. I mean, people can cope, I'm sure, with a B flat or an F. Well, oh no, let's pretend it's C. So that'd be like
Yeah, well,
playing,
there must have been some reason
that'd be
why
like
it
playing
was
the white
that,
notes.
surely.
There was some reason, though. Bloody stupid.
Well, it's the F clef, isn't it? The bass clef or whatever.
You don't have to be. Doesn't matter what clef it is.
It does.
I mean, the one that's most convenient. I suppose for some.
Some people, that's the alto clef, though, isn't it? Like violas, you have to write in alto clef. It's a nightmare.
Well, that seems a bit. Surely the bass and the treble clef.
Is enough.
Well, yeah.
Well, seemingly not. Tenor clef, alto clef.
The baritone clef.
Yeah.
The contrabass clef.
Y clef gene.
It's just showing off.
Yeah. So yeah, you're finding it tricky to play along with things. Is that what you mean? Because you're in the wrong key.
No, I know what I'm doing, what I'm playing along. But
What tunes are you playing at the minute?
I can play lots of them.
Well, go on, give me one.
Let all mortal flesh keep silent.
I love that you're using your trumpet to play that.
To play hymns.
Oh God.
Oh, they're fairly straightforward.
Yeah, I suppose.
And because I last played a trumpet when I was 13.
Yeah.
So it's been 40 years.
God.
40 years.
Jesus.
Why did I decide after all this time?
Well, it's just your latest obsession, isn't it?
It is. It has been a bit of an obsession.
Yeah.
Since Christmas.
Yeah.
I think part of what started it off was seeing advertisements for YouTube demonstrations of plastic trumpets and trombones.
Right. Why were you watching that? Oh, because of your toy orchestra thing.
My toy orchestra thing, yeah.
That's gone south, hasn't it? Stop playing that bloody harmonica.
What do you mean it's gone south? It never really set sail.
No, it's vanished though. You've sort of gone to the trumpet now, is it? Or can you keep multiple obsessions going?
I have several obsessions going at once.
Oh,
usually.
right, okay.
No, because nowadays there's all these apps, is it you call them, that it's like a
learning tool.
No, like a studio, a 4-track studio.
Oh, right, yeah, okay, yeah.
So I could probably, with a bit of bouncing down,
Yeah.
I could get me
Toy orchestra recorded.
Xylophone, and it'd all be me.
Yeah.
And I'd be conducting it.
I'll happily help you do that.
I'll be all right.
Heaven forbid we should recruit someone who does that for a living.
I wouldn't want.
And teaches it, yeah.
I wouldn't want to share the glory.
No, I know, okay. All right. Will, sliders. Do you know what I mean when I say sliders?
What, these?
Can't believe you've got that. It's not a very good slide whistle, that, is it?
It's not.
It's more like a duck call, isn't it?
Not a great range.
No. Why have you brought that?
It's more like sort of thing harpo marks.
You can hear a load of air rather than noise.
Yeah, it's not very good.
No.
It was cheap. It was online.
Right, I love that you brought that out just as I was saying sliders. Do you know what sliders are?
Is that a slider?
No.
Sliders are kind of...
They're kind of shoe.
I was about to say shoe.
Mm.
Is it shoe report time?
I do hope so. He's got a kazoo.
Do you know? Have you heard of the Mound City Blue Blowers?
I was about to talk about sliders.
Shoes.
Yeah, they're shoes. Do you know the kind of shoes I mean? They've suddenly become sort of popular.
Have they? What, among the young?
Just among people, yeah. They're a shoe that makes me angry.
Why do they make you angry?
Yeah, I know. So they're like a flip-flop,
Oh.
but they've got a sort of solid band, like a slipper, almost. Have you seen these? People wearing these?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes
so
with a Nike symbol on it or whatever.
So your toes sticking
out.
a bare.
Yeah.
Usually
They're sort of the kind of shoe you'd wear if you were sort of popping to the garden.
Is it? And have they got no back to
No
them?
back.
No heel.
No
rather.
heel. So like a flip-flop almost.
So it's a flip flop, but with a broad band.
With a broad band over, yeah.
I think people sometimes wear them at the hospital. I mean, instead of slippers.
Right, that's fair.
You know,
But it's when you see people coming out and about in town, just walking through town with them. It bugs me.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
To me, it's the sort of shoe equivalent of someone going to the shops in their dressing gown and pyjamas.
What? Yes, I don't.
It's quite lazy.
It is a bit.
Put some fucking shoes on, is what I want to say.
It is a bit. Well, when it's exceptionally hot, I think.
Well, that's fair.
I think one
Yeah.
could.
But when it's not, and someone's got socks and then sliders on, and the Nike and the Nike symbol, the goddess of sport, is sort of almost.
Is that who Nike was?
Yeah.
Is that where the goddess
Nike
of
come
sport?
from. Yeah, the goddess of sport. Yeah.
What, Greek?
Yeah.
Never even knew that. I always assumed it was Mr. Nike who.
Good old Mr. Nike, Mike Nike. And the goddess of sport is there on the least sport. Stop putting your fucking mouth organ up to your mouth. I'm talking to you.
I'm listening.
Not.
I am.
The goddess of sport.
Oh.
Put it down.
What, and walk away from
Yes, move
from
away from the mouth organ. It's like the laziest shoe you could fucking wear, innit? And then it's got a sort of sport logo on it. I find it really irritating.
Well, sport.
It's one of those things that really just bugs me as I walk around. I want to say, go home, put some fucking shoes on. Of all the sort of minute things that get on my fucking nerves, that's one of them.
Yes.
No, does it not annoy you? Well, you've not noticed them, clearly.
Well, I have noticed. I think I've heard people talking about sliders.
Yeah.
I had a vague idea it was connected with footwear.
Yeah. It's like Crocs or whatever. People who wear them out.
Crocs?
Oh.
Yeah, well, they're the ones with the holes in.
Yeah.
Sort of plastic with holes in.
They're at whole shop. They had their own shop in Derby at one point.
Was it a company name?
Crocs, I'm assuming, yeah.
And what was the Crocs? Crocodiles? Are they?
Yeah, I
anything
guess.
to do with crocodiles?
I think because it looks like that. It looks a bit like a crocodile. It's got a sort of back heel thing, hasn't it? That's sort of a sort of strap that looks a bit like a crocodile's mouth, I'm guessing.
I must say, I can't really.
You've not seen anyone wearing them?
I've seen them. They wear them at the hospital.
Yeah, okay. But outside of the hospital. Because I think the hospital, that is a different environment. You can wear your own shoes there.
Theatre staff sometimes.
Yeah, of course, because they're hygienic. You can wash and clean easily. There's no need to be wearing them to town.
It's often
unless you're
Crocs.
6.
It's often either
if you're a kid, fine.
It's often either Crocs or Wellingtons,
right?
Or gumboots.
God, if they're doing a big operation, it's get the wellies out.
Well, quite often it's quite short,
right?
Pale
boots, right?
Pale boots, and I think that is
right.
partly.
But outside of hospital,
yeah. But Crocs,
do they don't annoy you? Crocs or sliders?
Crocs don't. I mean, they've been around for donkeys years. I mean, what about sandals?
No, well, I don't like sandals. I would never wear them myself.
They had a bit of an image problem, didn't they? There was something about, or men who wear sandals with socks.
Scandals, as they're known.
What, the combination?
Yeah, socks and sandals. Scandals. Yeah.
That was held to be the very nadir of uncoolness.
Uncoolness, yeah. But, I mean, I don't like... Because I don't particularly like feet.
Quite a lot of people don't.
I find them repulsive.
I'm not a foot fetishist before your leap.
No.
To
I'm not a fan. But sliders, let me know, anyone out there, if you hate sliders in the same way that if they annoy you. I don't know, I have all the things to be annoyed with in the world. Why I'm not out there fighting against, fascism. But instead I'm getting miffed about sliders. I think it's something, it's laziness. It implies laziness, I think. It's like you couldn't be bothered to put some shoes on. You couldn't be bothered to fucking get dressed. Stop playing the mouth organ. You couldn't be bothered to take your dressing gown off to go to the shop. So just a bit slovenly, isn't it?
Slatternly, one might almost say.
Yeah. Would that bug you, though, if you saw someone in the shop in a dressing gown and pyjamas?
It does.
Unless it was very clear they had some sort of mental problem.
It does... I do find my lips pursing at that a bit.
Yeah.
I find myself coming over all disapproving.
Yeah, I got out of bed and got dressed. Why
can't
you?
I at least, dragged on a pair of admittedly scruffy and ripped trousers, but they were there. I mean, it was a token effort.
Yeah.
And you couldn't even do that.
Indeed. Yeah, it bugs me.
Then again, I do quite like the fact that they have a dressing gown and pyjamas and slippers, whereas I don't have any of those.
Well, yeah, you'd be screwed. You've got no choice to be lazy.
I can't
pop to the shop.
I can't really go down to the shops in
but you wouldn't,
t-shirt and boxer shorts.
You wouldn't, though, would you? You wouldn't go in a dressing gown, would you?
No.
Unless you were having some sort of breakdown.
Then again, people used to wear their dressing gowns, like Sherlock Holmes would wear his dressing gown over...
He didn't wear it out.
Having taken his jacket off.
He didn't wear it out.
No, but...
He didn't go and investigate, the Norwood builder in a fucking dressing gown, did he?
No, but when he was,
just measuring the house, Watson, in my dressing gown. It didn't
but when he was
did it?
dressed, in clothes, you see it quite often, don't you? And then they take off the
indoors,
the jacket part of it.
It's more like a smoking jacket than it is a dressing gown.
Well, no, that's a smoking jacket. It's a different thing. I mean, it tends to be sort of jacket length, hip length,
right?
Well, thigh length.
Okay.
arse to thigh length. Whereas the dressing gown tends to be, ankle or at least calf length.
Yeah.
And to be fastened with a cord, whereas I think the dressing gown generally...
How many illustrations is he wearing one of those in? One, I think. Maybe two.
What, a dressing gown?
Yeah. And these are the later ones, not Paget's, I don't think.
I don't know. I'm thinking chiefly of Basil Rathbone. He's quite often wearing his dressing gown.
Yes. Right. Well, there you go. Sliders. We done with Barbie and Oppenheimer?
Well, do you know what Lily Allen, what her take was?
Why would I give a flying shit about what Lily Allen had to say about it?
That's quite aggressive, Dave.
Well,
it's almost as if you feel threatened.
Little
by
Nepo baby. I can live without it.
Now come.
What?
Well, that term Nepo baby, it's rather a...
She isn't she?
It's rather a... Well...
With her faux Cockney accent, even though
it's hardly the
talks
first.
Posh.
It's hardly the first. She's hardly the first, is she?
No.
I mean, come on.
I didn't say she was.
You just said that fucking Nepo baby.
Well, I didn't say she was the first, did I?
Well, no, but come on. Julian Lennon could be accused that Stella McCartney.
Yeah. It's all bad.
Douglas Fairbanks Jr.
Yeah, he's all right.
Oh, he's all right, is he?
Joking.
Oh, because he's...
What did Lily Allen, what pearls of wisdom did she have to say about it?
Lon Chaney Jr.?
Can you do it in her voice? First her real voice, and then her Cockney voice, please.
Well, it was a tweet.
So still, you can do it.
Apparently she's done Barbenheimer. She watched them both on the same day, and she said, my takeaway is, if Oppenheimer had been a woman, there might not have been Hiroshima.
We would have lost the conflict in the Pacific.
Well, I mean, I can't help noticing that's coming from a man. And that's your first go to, well, yeah, maybe let's just,
I mean, I'm absolutely not against the idea that, men create aggression and war.
Hang on, you're not against...
When you're in the middle of a war, you do need a bit of aggression, don't you? To win. You can't just, whatever, can you?
No. I'm interested in this militant, this militaristic side of your nature,
it's
Dave.
It's not militaristic. I'm just saying, why? What would have happened?
Well, if Oppenheimer had been...
If they hadn't dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, what?
Well,
the Japanese would have carried on fighting.
Well,
the war would have gone on for several more years.
Might have.
The idea surely was to create that device before the Japanese did as well.
Well, before the Germans did.
Oh, before the Germans.
The Japanese didn't even have a nuclear program.
Well, there you go.
The Germans didn't have much of a one, as it turned out.
Right.
But they couldn't be sure of that at the time.
So it seems a bit silly. I mean, fair enough to say, if
Oppenheimer had been a woman,
or someone had been a woman,
if Hitler had been a woman,
right at the start of it, then it wouldn't have happened. Fine, but you can't at the end of it have a go.
What, when you're just about to give the order for Enola Gay to be sent off?
I don't think it's wonderful. I'm not saying it's a brilliant idea to nuke someone, but it did bring an end to the war.
Well, yes.
Which maybe would have killed many millions more people.
And I just suppose they didn't know so much about the radiation poisoning.
So, wise after the event, Alan can keep that one, I think.
Say Oppenheimer had, somehow overcome the, greater obstacles that they were. Maybe Roberta Oppenheimer had been such an amazingly good nuclear physicist that even the sexism of the early 20th century couldn't keep her back, and she was in charge of this of the development of the American atom bomb. I mean, maybe, do you think she
surely if a scientist, irrespective of gender, is put in charge of the development of the atom bomb, they're going to try and develop an atom bomb.
Yeah, but maybe, maybe one day she would have been walking along the street and she saw a baby in a pram and with a young mother or some kids playing in the park.
This is a bit patronising, but yeah.
And maybe she would have suddenly clutched or laid one hand lightly on her stomach and a feeling of oneness with nature and earth would have overcome her, and she would have gone back to the office or the laboratory or the factory, and said to her bosses, "I'm sorry, I can't do this."
But why couldn't Oppenheimer have done the same?
Well, he didn't, but unfortunately...
Well, I think he regretted it, didn't he?
He had cock and balls. I think that's Lily's point. Yes, and so, well, yes, good. Trump seems to be soon to be charged.
Good.
Yeah, but then his...
Will he become some sort of martyr?
But then this will... Yeah,
why has this turned into a political broadcast?
Or will it lead to to a civil war in America, or at least
possibly
civil unrest?
Yeah, well, it will do that.
I mean,
already had that.
Well, yeah, yes. You know, it'll make January the 6th look like a tea party.
Boston Tea Party.
Beautiful tea party. Because he's almost issuing overt threats.
Yeah.
When he was asked by some fairly sycophantic interviewer on some mad right-wing American show, now what would happen, do you think, sir, if Jack Smith, who seems to be the chief prosecutor, Jack Smith, if he does actually indict you? And Trump said something, I think it would be very bad thing, because we have very passionate people now. Good
again,
people,
trying to incite violence.
even more passionate than we did before, and they're not only doing it to me, they're doing it to you.
Oh God, he's such a shit stirrer.
No, you'd think at his age he'd have...
No, he's not learned anything from when he was 14.
He was in his
not
late
changed
70s.
at all, ever. He's one of those people. He's been allowed to walk between the raindrops and never change, hasn't he?
Walk between the raindrops?
Yeah.
I've never heard that one before. Is it from a song?
No, I don't think so.
If you walk between the raindrops,
you won't get
wet. If you don't want the thrill of danger, don't place that bet.
Yeah, well, there you go.
If you get a splash, if you get a splash, there's no need to fret.
Just walk between the raindrops, my pet.
Ooh, from the classic 1948 musical Wandering in the Rain. I'm rambling in the rain. I'm staggering against a wall.
This turned into singing in the rain. Yeah, okay.
I've slipped and broken my whiskey bottle. I'm trying to drink it as it flows away in the gutter. But I'm happy, 'cause the DTs have temporarily gone.
Yeah, very good. I can see that winning a Tony in 1953.
Well, there's a subject that I don't think we've covered in nearly enough depth.
Right. Is it maths or something?
It's like you're reading my mind.
Go on.
Well, because maths, you don't like maths, do you?
I don't. I acknowledge its existence. I didn't enjoy doing it, and I don't really see why it's made compulsory past a certain age.
You mean up until a certain age?
No, past a certain age.
But surely it's up to 16.
When you choose your options, age 13, 14, you know, for GCSE, 14. You should be able to ditch it. Because beyond that, what use is it to you?
Yeah, but so it's before a certain age.
You're made to do it after a certain age.
Well, no, but you don't have the choice not to do it before you choose your options, do you? I mean, from your first year at primary school,
my point is you are
it.
made to do it after the age of 14. I think that's plenty of maths.
Well, you're made to do it before the age of 14.
Yes, you are.
You're made to do it
you know what I mean, you silly bastard.
Well, I just want it to be clear for our...
It was clear to everyone but you. It was, in fact, it was clear to you that you decided to be a twit.
Well, no, it's up to the age of 16.
Yes.
It's, yeah.
And I
You think it should be only compulsory up to...
14.
12? 14.
When you choose your options, people who are into maths and want to do maths and want to do those kind of jobs, they can choose maths.
What about English?
I think English should be compulsory because English we use all the time.
Up to the age
Maths,
of... Up
I
to the
haven't
age
used since school.
Up to the age of 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of kids who don't like math, who don't like English,
I know,
would make the argument that, when are we going to use English?
Well, they use it all the time.
We'll do
to talk.
Shakespeare. Well, yeah, exactly. We know how to do
Right.
it. We've learnt it. Don't have to be taught how to read. We can already read.
Well, some people can't read.
Why do we have to do... Well, so remedial teaching for them. I mean, you think there ought to be a serious effort. Somebody gets to the age of 11, 12, secondary school, and they're still having trouble reading. They ought to have a bit of extra toot.
Well, probably do, don't they?
I should hope so.
But yeah, I think English is more essential to your communication skills and the things you're actually going to need in the workplace.
But I mean, studying it up to the age of 16, it's not learning to read, is it?
No, all right, not learning to read, but it's certainly broadening your vocabulary or your ability to speak or read or write.
Yeah, but how do you answer the kid who says, why do we have to do Shakespeare? We're never going to use it. Apart from wincing at the Philistine utilitarianism.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be slightly controversial.
Ooh. Ooh, I can't wait.
I'm not a massive fan of Shakespeare being taught at that age. I think you're too young to appreciate it, get it, care. I mean, like most things that are taught when you're young, because that's the time to teach you. You're too young to appreciate. Or if I went back to school now, I'd be like, fucking brilliant, great, teach me stuff.
Oh yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? Whereas at school, no.
I've been a compulsive autodidact since I left uni. Well, no, I did sort of...
Yeah. But you know what I mean? You're too young for a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, given that, given that it's difficult... I mean, so you would say there is...
Not necessarily that it's difficult. I mean, because it is relevant, obviously, and it's interesting, and, it's about the human condition. But really, is anyone thinking about the human condition when they're fucking 16? I doubt it. You might have been.
Well, yeah, you probably... I bet you were.
No.
Listening to the Smiths.
No.
That's...
I was thinking about girls and wanking. Hardly ever in that order.
Well, yeah, but that's but you were still a sort of sensitive, intellectual, what's it all about sort of person, weren't you? I mean,
even at school, I don't remember thinking, "Oh, great, Shakespeare." It wasn't until sort of A level and then uni that I became really interested in it. I just think it's too young. I think there's loads of things that you're taught that are just fucking needless. And I know there's obviously it's teaching you a certain way of thinking, which is good.
What is?
Well, like you might learn, the point of learning maths.
Yes.
Beyond a certain point where you're never going to use this. I'm never going to measure a fucking, quadrilateral triangle or whatever. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean. Well,
you absorbed that much, didn't you? That's English, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Beyond that point, but you're still learning problem solving, let's say.
Yeah. But what about sort of spatial things?
What? And beyond measuring your carpet or whatever, or is this piece of furniture going to fit?
We're not understanding statistics on the news. Things like compound interest.
People don't pay attention
percentages.
to those things.
Well, perhaps because it's not well enough taught in schools.
Well, that would be my preference, that we actually learn things that are going to come up.
Yeah.
Filling a tax return. Basic car maintenance.
Yes.
How to look after children.
Yes, I suppose so.
Just things that actually are useful.
Life skills.
Yeah. There isn't a lesson called life skills, and there should be.
Well, they're probably on this, aren't they?
I'd love to not have to take my car to the garage because I don't know the first thing about it.
Yeah, they do in America, don't they?
Do they?
Call it shop.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that what they say? I got sharp.
Is that though? I think it's just metalwork, isn't it? And woodwork.
Oh, is it what we call metal stuff that goes on in a workshop?
It would be lovely to learn things that came in handy.
I seem to remember...
We would be better, wouldn't we, as a society, surely, if we'd learn and certainly both men and women had learned how to look after children properly, or effective parenting, or anything like that.
Yeah, or basic childcare.
Yeah.
Things like,
rather than you've learned how...
Don't feed a newborn baby fish fingers.
Exactly. You've learned Pythagoras' theorem. You know how to use a fucking cat and whiskers box or whatever it is to work out means.
Sorry?
Like you don't know
a cat and whiskers box?
Yeah.
To work out mean averages?
Yeah. But you don't know... You get presented with a baby and don't know what you're doing, and you have to bluff your way through it. It just seems a bit stupid.
I'm sure they do that sort of thing in Scandinavian countries.
Probably do, yeah.
Being all tall and blonde and naked about it.
Well, it's bloody just a sensible place to live, isn't it? Mind you, I mean, they're very heavily taxed, but then you look around the place and go, yeah, I can see it. It's clean. People are okay. Their mental health is taken care of.
I must say I've never been anywhere north of
some
Holland.
mental health training or something, anything would have been better than fucking learning how to measure a triangle.
Well, although I don't think we should underestimate the value of measuring triangles.
No. Well, maybe it's knocking a bit off every subject. I think there's a lot of extraneous stuff that you don't need to know, or you know what I mean? Not that you need to know, and it's interesting to know certain things, but I think you can knock a bit off every subject and put it into this lesson, into life skills lesson every week.
So if we were designing a new national curriculum
I'd love to.
For the UK.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it'd be tempting to be mischievous though, wouldn't it? And say you have to learn Old English.
God, I was listening to someone talking that on TikTok the other day.
Oh, is they and it sounds like a weird mixture of German and Welsh or something. Yeah. And that was old English.
But yes, if we were designing our curriculum, Old English you'd put in as your mischief. Okay.
No, I wouldn't. Or, compulsory, compulsory watching of Leslie Caron films. No, that's just this is not the time for humour or jesting or quirky little ideas.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to bin
myself.
any subjects. I mean, I think they're all valid and they're of interest. They cover a very wide range of things. I mean, I wish music was better supported in schools.
The arts. Yes, the arts.
I mean, drama's a bit better supported, certainly the music is, and a bit better attended.
But at least it's drama's a subject, which it wasn't.
I'd knock 10 minutes off each of those other lessons and put them into a different lesson. I think we'd be happier people.
Yes, it's possible. Anyway,
maths, go.
Maths. Well, the wonder of maths. Just let me give you an example. Imagine you've got a box, a cube, shaped, one inch cubed.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so you want to double it in size.
Yeah.
How would you do that?
Hang on, because I'm thinking if I've got a little cube.
So you just, to make it cube,
it's one by one.
It's 1 by 1.
But to make it 2 by 2,
2 by 2.
Another one on top of it, 2 next to it, 2 over there, and another 2 there.
So how many have you got now?
Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No.
I've got 7 of itself. I've got 8 of itself in total.
So there's 8. So where there was 1, there is now 8.
Yeah.
So you've increased it actually by a factor of 8. We only want to increase it by 2.
Yeah.
What's happened?
Well, because it's 3-dimensional.
Yes.
Whereas if you... Mind you, if you did it 2-dimensional, you'd still be timesing it by 4, wouldn't you? To get a 2 by 2 square.
Well, if you've got a square, 1 by 1, make that twice the size. Would it work there? That makes it 4, yeah. And in 3 dimension, well, because you're cubing it, it makes it 8.
Yeah.
So is it possible to... I mean, it sounds such a simple thing. Make a box twice the size.
Yeah.
But it seems we've made it 8 times the size. What's happening? Now, let's think of it this way. So the 8 cubes, like that, the single cube is... So 8 is... the square.
The magic number. Go on.
No, hang on. What do I mean?
The cube root.
The cube root. But the cube...
It's 2, isn't it?
But the cube root of 8 isn't 1,
no.
Is it?
It's 2.
2 times 2 times 2.
Yeah.
So, to get from... I had this also clearly worked out and understood.
And now you're making a fool of yourself.
No, I'm not, sir.
Go on.
I'm brave enough to stand before the class and do it. No, so to get from your
1 by 1,
2 by 2 by 2. Yeah, you want the cube root of that. You want the cube root of 2.
What? Why?
Because you start off with 1, 1, 1.
Right.
1 by 1 by 1.
Yeah.
Now you made it 2 by 2
by 2.
By 2.
Yeah.
But
are you talking about if you had to make a box that occupied actually twice the space of the 1 by 1 by 1 cube?
Yes.
Right.
I think for that you'd need the cube root of 2.
Okay,
Yeah. And what is the cube root of 2?
Don't know, Doc.
What's the square root of 2?
1 point something.
It
can't be 1 point something. 0 point something.
What's the square root?
Mind you, then you're halving it all the time. So it must be 1 something.
What's the square root of 2? Oh, don't go to the internet.
What is the cube root of 2? No, not 216. Where's that come from? 2. 1.25 992 104 989.
Recurring.
No.
Well, not recurring. It would never end, surely.
Maybe. There's
Would
more
it?
to it than that, yeah.
Isn't it irrational?
Copy that. Times it by itself.
It's an irrational,
let me
isn't it?
paste, you prick.
You see, you're getting really engaged with it now, aren't you? I've made you experience the wonder of mathematics.
Well, sort of. It's just, a bit annoying. Go on.
Well, the mild annoyingness of mathematics, then. That's something. Or consider. Oh, I mean, you don't have to go for long before you get to the paradoxes of infinity, do you?
No.
What's the highest number? What's the lowest number?
Well.
And of course, there's an infinity of numbers in between any two numbers you can think of. Because you can always go on halving.
Point whatever, yeah.
You can always go on halving.
But this is
halving and halving
it's
and halving.
Fannying around for fannying around's sake, isn't it? Who needs to know that?
I think pure mathematics is more the term than fannying around for fannying around's sake. I don't remember when Bertrand Russell and A.N. Whitehead published Principia Mathematica. It was subtitled the latest breakthrough in fannying about for fannying about's sake.
But it is, though, isn't it?
Well, it can seem very like it. I mean, in that book, supposedly, famously, that takes 50 pages or something of tightly argued logical and mathematical reasoning to prove that 1 + 1 = 2.
Oh, God.
Now, that might seem...
That's fannying. It's like that bloody... It reminds me of that fucking... If a tree falls in a forest. I mean, who cares about that? Who's worried about that?
That's a slightly different...
Well, it's different. I'm just saying it's similar in terms of its pointlessness.
It's pointless. Well, it makes you think. It can at least say that. It makes people think a bit about what the words they're using actually mean. No, but the point is with that Russell and Whitehead, that led on to other mathematical work, including, I think, what's his name and his equations.
Einstein?
No. He was physics.
Stephen Hawking?
No, well, it probably all helped.
What was bloody Bertrand Russell doing? Oh, just maths.
And philosophy.
Maths and philosophy.
He did. I think he read mathematics.
He wasn't a physician. Carl Sagan.
Physicist.
Go on.
Well, a physician's...
He is a doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
He didn't do medicine, no. And What was I saying?
You were trying to think of a name
all this mathematics,
someone, which is mostly what we've done this
Heisenberg's
episode.
Not Heisenberg. The equations. You know, the equations.
No.
Incompleteness theorems.
Right. Ooh.
Gödel's.
Ooh.
Kurt Gödel's.
Never heard of him.
Not 18-hour Gödel. Do you remember though?
No.
Oh, my Playtex 18-hour Gödel.
No.
Oh, I have it on.
No.
It was an advert in the 70s.
Yeah.
I sometimes get it mixed up with the Cross Your Heart bra.
Why are you thinking about either of those things?
Well, his name Gödel.
No, I mean
German,
generally.
What?
Why are you getting those two things muddled up?
Because they sound the same.
They don't.
Kurt Gödel.
No, not... Oh, fuck me.
And the Gödel...
You say you get muddled up between an 18-hour girdle and the Cross Your Heart bra. And I'm asking, why are you thinking about either of those
Because
things?
I think there was adverts for them both in
At
the
the same
70s.
time.
In the 70s, and they were both a bit rude because it was about, breasts and bosoms and Cross Your Heart. But yeah, and the woman would... I don't know what the girdle... I think the idea was it's
like a corset.
Yeah. I think the idea is that it's a girdle that's so comfortable you forget you have it on.
Seems unlikely.
And
it's squashing your organs.
And there was something about 18... It wasn't Victorian corsets with the Scarlet O'Hara being, pulling and...
Yeah.
But it was an 18-hour girdle. I don't know what 18 hours. Oh, I suppose that would be about the longest time you'd expect to wear it. Suppose, say, you got up for work at 6.
Christ. Yeah.
Went out
Put
for
your girdle on and out you go.
Did your job and then went to a party or a nightclub or some pleasant, agreeable diversion with your husband if you have one, and then and she's at a party and this woman's at a party in the advert, and suddenly she says, "Oh, my 18-hour girdle," as if she's forgotten it, and then she said, "Oh, I have it on."
Yeah, no, it's gone past me, that one.
No. Anyway, back to Kurt Gödel.
Kurt Gödel.
There are 2 incompleteness theorems. And anyway, apparently they proved that what Russell and Whitehead were trying to do, the paradoxes that they were trying to resolve, are in fact impossible.
Right.
The paradox, there's something to do with a representative system of numbers, of rules for mathematics, can't be both complete and incapable of contradiction.
What?
I think. Can't be both complete and incapable of contradiction. You will never eliminate the possibility of contradictory terms.
That one isn't one and one isn't one, for example.
Well,
It seems a bit shit.
I don't think it is, really. Unless it's all a complete sham.
This is one microphone and there's another one.
Yes, well, it's very easy to say that, Dave.
I like your shirt.
Where did that come from?
I was just thinking I like your shirt.
Like your shirt? It's a tatty old thing. I was thinking of throwing it away.
No, it's nice.
It's lost a few buttons as well. It's a dark blue, white and purple check.
Yeah.
For our hard of seeing listeners. I've been thinking.
Just hit the radiator, folks.
Oh, lightly with my elbow. Didn't hurt.
Good.
I've been thinking lately about names for pubs.
Okay.
If you were founding a pub,
founding
a pub?
Yeah,
it's not a fucking
Taking
university.
over a pub. Wow.
Setting up a pub, what would you call it?
Oh, God.
What sort of pub would you like it to be? What sort of clientele would you like to attract? And bear this in mind with the name.
Problem is, because I'd quite like to have, board games and chat in it, but I think that would just encourage.
Well, there was that place in
fucking. What are they called?
I don't know.
Hipsters.
Board games.
Just encourage hipsters to come in.
Oh, well, as long as they were well behaved and spent. Hang on.
Might get on my nerves.
This whole hipster thing. What is it? What does it mean? I mean, it's a term that's been around since about the 40s.
Yeah.
Just in this
instance, I think it.
But in the sense that emerged about 12 years ago.
Yeah.
It seems to be just seems to mean
sort of young people who've got extraordinarily long beards.
Yeah, the long beard seems...
Perhaps are wearing, rolled up chinos, no socks and deck shoes,
are
carrying, a dancette under their arm or something.
A dancette?
Yeah. It's like a little record player, isn't it?
Yeah, that were popular in the 50s.
Well, yeah.
Why do they... Well, old-fashioned record players, Dave. You're hardly... your record is hardly clean on...
I know.
I didn't know
that was... the way they talk about it, that would annoy me.
Well, do you know any actual hipsters or people you would call hipsters? Seen them?
Yeah.
Eavesdropped
I'm
on
sure
their conversations?
They're nice people, but yeah. I don't know. In my mind, they talk a bit like, like that.
What? Posh people?
Well, yeah. And then I got the latest vinyl by I managed to pick up a copy of Hard Day's Night the other day.
Hang on. So they might be into vinyl collecting. And they would be delighted if they found an original pressing of the Hard Day's Night album in the second-hand bookshop.
I can't.
Lots of people do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's why this term hipster seems to me, much as I dislike the word, problematic.
Yeah.
I mean, difficult, slippery.
Yeah, bit. And I can't really explain myself.
And it's not exactly a youth cult, is it? It's not. Isn't it more?
I mean, I'm not a big fan of people bigging up vinyl as if it's better than other things. It isn't.
Well, I believe this
doesn't sound better.
I believe the hi-fi freak people. I mean, people who will spend huge amounts of money on sound equipment. I believe they do still seem to. I mean, when they do blind tests of CD and I mean, with technology coming on all the time, but apparently the vinyl still tends to win.
Does it?
For
I mean, having grown up with vinyl and all its flaws.
Yes, hiss and
jumping,
wobbliness,
and it scratches and jumps, and you can't listen to a whole song through without putting a 2p on the fucking stylus.
Oh, I did that as well. Yeah. 2p.
Yeah, I'm quite happy to just have it on my phone. Thanks, cheers, lovely. Yeah, I'll live without it. Pubs, we were talking about.
Shall I go to the? Yeah. Now you're worried about attracting hipsters.
Yeah.
So you're all right. You're trying to discourage a certain part of the population. Although, I mean, what sort of people would you like to? What would you like?
Well, this is the trouble.
To be known
this is the problem with our lives in general. My life certainly is that I'd want to attract arty people, but don't particularly like arty people.
Oh,
talking to them. They can be a bit self-obsessed.
Are you thinking of the times we've been in pubs where poetry was being
No, not necessarily.
read?
No.
What was the one where they did, I wasn't with you.
There was
a
I
sort
went
of
to
gesture.
A fucking poetry reading and they all snapped their fingers when they liked things.
Oh, what, during the poems?
Yeah, fucking really off-putting.
It would be, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, mine didn't get any snaps, but it was when someone was doing like a K Tempest impression.
K Tempest.
I said K Tempest.
Yeah. I thought you mispronounced it.
Well, you were wrong, weren't you?
Then I remembered they are a K.
Yeah. They
be's a K.
Yeah. So there was that sort of thing. When I was in my infancy, that sort of faux gangster speak.
Yeah.
It was that, and people would go, speaks to me. I got up and did I can't remember what I did.
Did it rhyme?
A fucking sonnet. It rhymed and had structure and form and rhythm, and they didn't like it. No, fuck you now. So people like that. But
so would you want to be arty? How arty? How would you make it?
They'd be arty, but like us arty. Not like how I'd imagine being at the RSC would be. For people being a bit up their own arse, do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if you're arty and...
Bit arty, but normal.
That's quite...
It's very niche.
Nuanced.
Yeah, because you normally get arty and annoying.
Arty and annoying. So would you put on sort of events like open mic nights, poetry nights?
Just... you see, this is the things I like, but I don't want other people to do them. in my company.
But speaking as a publican, who you've got to, let's say we're in a big city, the biggest city in Derby.
I'll scratch it.
A university
I'm going to
town.
have a family pub.
Family?
Yeah, we'll have a family
So
pub.
what's that one that welcomes children?
Yeah.
We serve children alcoholic drinks.
Exactly that.
We never ask for ID.
No.
Bring them all. Bring
Alco
your
pops.
newborn.
Fill your boots. Because I couldn't have a sort of board game. Well, the trouble is with board games. Board games would either attract a variety of people, but nerds,
geeks,
but smelly nerds sometimes. Yeah, your Warhammer bunch.
Is personal hygiene a problem?
Yeah, it is a problem. Yeah, in the board gaming community. Yeah.
I know there are jokes on Drop the Dead Atom.
Donkey.
What's it called?
Donkey.
What's it called? No.
The Big Bang Theory.
The Big Bang Theory.
Drop the Dead Atom.
The Big Bang Theory. I knew it was something.
Yeah.
About, there's the Mr. Sweatpants or Captain Sweatpants. He's the bloke in the comic shop,
Right,
isn't it?
yeah.
And they're keen on board games, aren't they? They're
Yeah,
often playing some, I take my magic sword card and defend against
You see, that's the trouble, is that board games get lumped in with role-playing games.
Yeah.
And sometimes role-playing games are great, and I've played a few myself, but it does attract that sort of Magic the Gathering, I've not washed for a week crowd. Who are very nice people, I'm sure, but sitting near them is difficult.
But on the other hand, Sheldon and friends are all
They're not
fairly...
real, are they, Will?
Well, no, but I was...
So the issue is they'd either be geeks, hipsters, or smelly people. Anyway, we still haven't arrived at the title of my pub, and then you need to do yours.
The name of your pub, yeah.
So the dice and something.
You don't usually call it a title, do you?
Fucking hell.
Just well, it's English, Dave. We use it all the time. I'm continuing to
You
educate
use it
you.
to correct people all the time. It's annoying.
If
The
people...
dice, it'd have to be literature-based as well, surely.
Yeah, a bit of literature. So you were attracting an arty...
Something to do with Dickens.
The
Charlie's Game. I don't know.
The polysyllable and convoluted plot.
I could call it the Circumlocution Office, I suppose, from Little Dorrit.
That wouldn't be bad.
That would be all right, wouldn't it?
And then people
are talking a lot. And
people would refer to it as the office.
Yeah, or the Cirque.
The Cirque. You're hitting the Cirque tonight.
Yeah. I
Bet your ass, baby.
I'm slightly worried that's how they'd speak. Right, what about yours?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, God, have you made a list?
No, not a list. I just thought, the word malaise.
To mean ennui.
Ennui, it sort of can mean illness. I think it's malaise.
Mal, bad.
French word.
Why are you using a word that means bad?
Well, I just thought it would be quite a good name for a sort of gloom rock band.
Right, okay.
Malaise. Or indeed maybe just an album title for, the...
It might be misheard and sort of, or not misheard, but like it's a homophone for Malaise, as in people from Malaysia.
Check the spelling, baby. I mean, the paper and pen.
Yeah.
Quite like that. I was thinking the wig and pen, because isn't that what lawyers or barristers pub, as they call that? The essay and deadline.
Yeah.
In a student place, they'd probably think, oh, well, that's a girl, I'll come here. Yeah, because they'd all be speaking like that.
Yeah. Of course.
To try and attract the socially challenged.
They're at my place.
I might call it the loner and frown.
Okay.
The table and sense of malaise.
Oh, okay. I don't think anyone's going to come.
On just table and malaise. The lost opportunity.
Oh, Will.
As a name for a pub.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work.
Well, it might. I'm
people
trying.
Won't go in it because they'll feel like it makes them look like a loser. Beer pun in there, wouldn't it, somehow?
A beer pub?
Beer pun.
Well, I wasn't going to be that wacky and not serve beer.
Beer pun.
Pun.
The fact you misheard it and then went off on a sort of self-righteous blurb.
No beer here. Cider, but no beer.
Go on. defeated.
The paradox, the teeming brain, that might appeal to an intellectual.
Yeah.
It's not something I can see myself doing, though.
No, nor can I. You'd hate
I mean,
it.
you can't do it as a hobby, can you?
You'd hate it.
Run a pub.
No. You've got to throw your whole self into it, haven't you?
You've got to have and you'd end up like Den and Angie on EastEnders. They never seem very happy.
Not wanking off at home in front of a webcam or whatever.
Now you're confusing the actor and the character.
Okay.
But, that must be awful running a pub as a married...
Yeah, horrible. You start late, finish late.
You can't sort of really get away from it.
Yeah.
I'd be constantly wanting to nip out the back for a good cry.
Right, is that it, my love?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Do you think...
Yeah. Shall we say a fond
farewell? And
Sorry, I'm really tired.
Yeah. So I'm sure you're not the only person yawning
through this.
I'm sure we possibly helped a few people drift off to drift into
that's
unconsciousness.
A nice thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
The trouble is with it is it's sometimes punctuated by me laughing quite loudly, so
that
probably
might
not very
wake
restful.
people up.
Yeah. But if you have gone to sleep,
we've done ASMR, haven't we?
We have. You decided opening a bag of crisps was the way forward.
Oh yeah.
So, if you are drifting off, we'd just like to say,
wake up! Pay attention!
Yeah, that'll do. Right, goodbye everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.